The version of you that built your career had an operating system, a set of beliefs. I earn my place through results. I hold the complexity that others can't. I don't stop until it's done. The system worked for years brilliantly. It's why you are here, right? But, and it's a big but, here is the thing about inner operating systems. They do evolve. You actually evolved. The values deepen, the priorities shift. The things that used to feel like fuel are now starting to feel like obligations. The role, the title, the way you lead, what you say yes to, it hasn't caught up yet. The gap, it's a pure exhaustion and frustration. I wanted to ask you something, and I want you to actually answer it. When did you last feel genuinely energized by your work? I'm not talking about the motivation, I'm not talking about the discipline, not pushing it through. Energized. And I want you to take a second to think about it. Because if you need to answer that more than 3-5 seconds, or you went searching through the memory like there you were looking for something you left in the old house, this episode is for you. Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm your host in Brilliance Unleashed. Today, we're going to talk about what happens when the high performer, like you, someone who built something real, who led across culture's complexity and impossible context, starts feeling nothing. Not the dramatic burnout, not breakdown, nor exit, just a hollow, functional, and completely invisible to everyone around them. Here's what it's look like. And I want you to count how many are true for you. 1. You leave meetings exhausted, meetings that used to energize you. Nothing really went wrong. You feel just drained in a way that makes no sense given what actually happened. 2. You replay decisions for days, not because they were wrong, because the certainty you used to have feels like something you now have to kind of manufacture. 3. You look at your calendar and feel quiet dread, not overwhelmed, dread. Dread as dressed as business. 4. You keep showing up. You lead, you deliver, and somewhere underneath, there is a thought that you haven't said it out loud yet. I don't know who I'm doing this for anymore. And 5. Rest doesn't touch it. You take it a vacation, you come back, and within 2 days, the heaviness is back. The kind that sleep cannot reach. So, how many? 3 or more? Write in the comments. And don't worry, because what you're expecting, not expecting, what you're experiencing, actually has a name. And it's not burnout per se, not the way people usually mean it. It's functional burnout, the kind that keeps you upright and performing. It's almost never about overwork. It's about operating from that an identity that no longer fits. The version of you that built your career had an operating system, a set of beliefs. I earn my place through results. I hold the complexity that others can't. I don't stop until it's done. The system worked for years brilliantly. It's why you are here, right? But, and it's a big but, here is the thing about inner operating systems. They do evolve. You actually evolved. The values deepen, the priorities shift. The things that used to feel like fuel are now starting to feel like obligations. The role that used to feel like identity starts feeling like a costume. In your outer life, the role, the title, the way you lead, what you say yes to, it hasn't caught up yet. The gap, it's a pure exhaustion and frustration. And I'm not talking about the hours, not the cross culture complexity, not the impossible team dynamics across 4 time zones. The friction is internal. And no productivity system, no leadership training, no retreat can actually fix the identity problem. They address the symptoms, not the architecture. And I want to tell you something that I don't say it often, and I start saying more and more to my clients, because it's a pure description of what we're talking about today. Because I remember sitting in a meeting, I would run 100 times, different continents, different language in the room, same version of me, composed, present, leading. And underneath of all of it, one quiet thought, I didn't say it out loud. I didn't dare to say it out loud. I don't know who I'm doing this for anymore. Nobody saw it. The meeting went fine. I kept going. But I knew something had changed, something I couldn't fix by working harder or leading better. 15 years of leading across cultures, time zones, languages, I had built something real for me. And somehow I had outgrown the identity that built it. The one that said, lead through responsibilities, earn your place, hold the complexity. That identity had served me for years, decades, and it wasn't mine anymore. Doing the work of seeing that clearly, of letting my outer life catch up, that's the hardest things I've ever done. And I'm honest here with you. It was uncomfortable like hell. And it's the work I now help others do because I've been there and I know how to get out of that. And if something I said today made you go quiet, if you recognize something rather than you learned something, that's not an accident. The recognition is data, and data is the queen. And here it is. You have a clarity, and clarity is the queen. And it means some part of you already knows this isn't about performing better. It's about seeing clearly who you've become and closing that gap. I offer a calibration call. It's not a sales conversation. It's a diagnostic, a 45-minute when we look at what's actually happening underneath the performance, where the gap is, what it cost, and what opens up when it closes. If this episode were yours, you will know. The link to the meeting are in the notes. I'll see you there.